In this lesson, review concepts on the first to third 9 weeks, which is mainly just the first, and then we're going to review basic statistics. All right, announcements. As I have stated to you guys who were here, that this is the 9 week there's no room for errors. Be on top of your stuff. Be on Google Classroom. Take care of everything. Retain the skills that you have been taught. Yeah, please don't add brand new to stuff that was taught throughout the year because you got going to know this stuff. Complete every homework assignment in a timely manner and complete everything with integrity. All right, so this is how it grades for this 9 weeks. In order for you to receive an A, you have to not only meet all my expectations, but you have to score an 18 or above on the ACT. That is a must. Again, no one's not getting an A if you don't have that 18. Because, if you could get an A, you could surely get an 18 or above on the ACT. B, you didn't get the 18 on the ACT, but you meet all the expectations. You did it well. C, you participate and accurately know the material. So that means that you know pretty good depth. Most of you guys gonna fall in this BC range. Again, your A, you gotta really know it. D, you barely know the material. F, you do not meet the expectation. So again, it comes down to the skill of it. If you don't have the skill, it is gonna be your problem. All right, participation. Have full engagement. Phones, put them away. Complete all your assignments. Be respectful to you guys. So the issue I'm having with you guys are losing their respect. Now remember, if you take the time out of your class time to sass, disrespect, get out of pocket with me, you taking the time out of your education, that's going to reflect your grade. So make sure you have the respect despite how pissed you get. Make sure you have it, because if you do not, cannot give you the grade that you truly desire. You know, as crazy as it sounds, if I'm, being a good teacher, but if I have no, if I as your teacher do not have the respect, do not have respect for my coworkers or my principal, that's going to affect my pay raise. Like, I cannot sit there and be disrespectful to my administration. So you cannot be disrespectful to yours truly. That respect, it has a sense of reflecting towards, stuff, and it can land you in some hot water. All right. Be responsible for all school equipment, y'all. Do better with my calculators. Don't drop them. Please don't. Also, follow the rules and the procedures in place. So I say put your phones up, put them up. Classwork. For today, we're just going to review factoring. So let's get to our factoring. So this is what I want you to do. You see this problem? Now we did this in class already this week. So why don't you pause the video and see what you could do on your own, and once you finish, unpause the video just to see where you at. Pause the video now. By now, you have worked the problem out. If you have not, pause that video and work it out. So, for those who did you get this as your final answer? Remember, because you're dealing with the exponent of 2, and that's all you have in terms of exponent, this is the difference of squares. So we know that 9 is written as 3 squared because 3 times 3 is 9. Then 25 is 5 squared. So with that being said, we put it in these basic factor forms. Well, you guys try this one. This is a trinomial. This is a basic trinomial. So why don't you try factoring this basic trinomial? So pause the video and try it out. All right, my babies. Good. I have trust that you have worked this out and you should have this as your factor. Remember, when you are factoring this trinomial, is what two numbers multiplied gives you 50, which is your back, and then the same two numbers have to be added together to get you the sum of the middle term. And you say negative 10, negative 5, that's going to work out. Just like that. And again, there's no makeup, there's no bonus points, there's none of that. You have to know the stuff from the dome. You got to know it. All right. Why don't you pause and try this one? All right. I trust that you have did this and you're ready to move on. So let's talk about it. If you are struggling with the factoring still, why don't you go? There's some videos that I already posted in Google Classroom, and why don't you watch those videos of factoring? Ready, set. I trust that you guys did this already, so let's do it. So multiply front times the back, and you get 4m. Well, you get, when you multiply front times back, you rewrite it. So that's m squared plus 4m plus 4. And then you factor like you've been doing. Multiply your two numbers, which gives you 4, which we know that is 2 times 2. And we also know 2 plus 2 gives you 4. And then after that, you factor. So m plus 2. But see, because this is repeated, this is a repeated factor. So you can rewrite this as m plus 2 to the power of 2. And this is called, again, a multiplicity. That means that the factors repeat. So with that being said, divide by 4. But we know when we divide 2 divided by 4, it does not give you an integer, but it simplifies the rational number to be 1/2. And because of that, you gotta go 2m plus 1. And because, again, it's repeated, you will use m to the power of 2 plus 1. I mean, 2m plus 1 to the power of 2. That's one way of rewriting it. And again, if I'm going too fast, please, you could rewind, slow the video, do all of that. And that's just that. All right. That was the factor. I did not do factor by grouping, but you are responsible for factor by grouping as well. If you're still struggling, again, there are videos that I have made myself. You could go watch those if you subscribe, or you could look through Google Classroom. There's videos on that as well. Again, you gotta be able to know how to do this from the dome. Ain't no notes going on. Do it from the dome. All right. So now we're getting into statistics. So statistics have definitions, and it's easy, of course, but you must know data is a number that tells the story despite of the size. It is used to answer questions. The examples are: it was 12:15 when the fight occurred. See, that's the data. The data is the time. Keyshawn turned in 3 assignments yesterday on time. Georgia made $30 an hour. See, that's the data, the particular numbers that tell a story. All right, now let's take it to a level another step. A statistical question is one for which you do not expect us to get a single answer. Instead, you expect a variety of answers, and you are interested in the distribution and tendency of those answers. For example, if I was to ask any one of you, I would ask about how tall are you? So when I ask you that question, is everyone gonna be the same height? No, everyone's gonna have a different height. Y'all may be the same, but one of you guys gonna be a few inches above the other. One's gonna be several feet taller than the other one. All this and all that. So that's what you ask the question about. How tall are you? Because if I go in the classroom as to record the data in the classroom, everybody will have a different height, and we would, have a sense of distribution between the heights. And you want to see more examples of that coming up. Now, what is statistics? Statistics is a number of change. I mean, a number that tells a story which inspired change. Again, statistics is a number that tells a story or this story which inspire change. It could be one story, it could be multiple. For example, the news. Every time we watch the news, it helps us in our decision making process to want to make change. Maybe, you know, you have a bunch of police, activity going on in your neighborhood. So maybe your folks or someone is going to do something about it. The mayor would definitely do something about it. Your grades. This is something that all you guys relate to the most because your grades does tell a story about you. And of course, if you got like a 66, no kid wants a 66. Even if they say they don't care, they're going to, want to do something about it to change. Your age. That's not really, it can be used as a statistic. Depending on the situation, it can inspire change. Like, for example, if you're under the age of if you're the age of 18, from what has been told, you are legally allowed to carry a gun. But there are some politicians who try to change that age to 21. Or maybe they already done so. Your date of birth is a requirement. I mean, it's a requirement to receive some benefits from the government. You know, and maybe because you're too young, they may change that policy. See, these are things that people can make a difference. But overall, think of anything. Anything that you could think about is a statistic, something that inspires change. All right, speaking of which, this ANET data that we're going to look at too is the thing that's inspired change in our classroom. So this is our ANET data. Overall, this is us in the orange. Remember, orange is us. The network is the district. So when we look into all this, 39 to 35, the data is telling us that we are ahead by 4%. The statistic is that we are doing better than everyone else. So that's the statistic. But however, the change I would like to make, because again, looking at this, it's part of my decision making process, and your numbers are part of the decision making process for everybody. So for us, we would want to do better. First block, third, fourth, sixth, seventh. And again, this helps us make a proper decision of what we want to do. You know, so that was an example of how data becomes the statistics. Now, some examples of statistics. Statements like Trump is able to make $464 million bond in a civil fraud case, his lawyers tell him in court. That is a statistic because, of course, in terms of Trump, he's wanting to inspire the change to do better. So he wants to pay the 464 million bond. He wants to do that. Tommy has a 1.2 grade point average. Of course, some of you guys got parents who see a grade point average like that, you're going to get grounded. And of course, you're going to want a better grade point average. Miss Howard missed 16 days of work, which we all know Miss Howard ain't missing no days of work. But if I missed that many days, of course, I would want to do better because I could get in trouble and lose my job if I miss that many days. Okay, so we've been dealing with these precise definitions a lot, right? So now you got a precise definition of statistics. Statistics is the technique of collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting data to make decisions. So, of course, the precise definition of statistics, again, we go through this process of dealing with data to help us make a decision. And that's the inspiring change part. But remember, the precise definition of mathematics is the technique to teach, learn, and manage reality by ciphering, counting, measuring, classifying, ordering, inferring, and modeling patterns arising in the environment. This, covers all of statistics too. And when you see the two, you can compare. So take a moment, compare the two definitions. And then after that, let's move on. All right. So we have already watched the news down here and we looked at 5 statistics. So we're going to be watching the news every single class period because that's how the statistic process work. All right, now for those who are at the house, we got a little fun activity that you could possibly try out. And this is in relation to dealing with how statistics work. Again, statistics is weird because you're not used to dealing with just numbers. I mean, you're not just telling a story with the number, you're just not used to it. You're used to taking a number, use it to find some other number. But let's get on with this activity. All right. So this is what you guys are going to do at the house. If you can do that, cool. If you cannot, we are doing it in the classroom. So we are checking our pulse. So when you're checking your pulse, your pulse is pretty much your heartbeat. You know, if you know how to do it, you need to have your hands like this. And what you're going to do once you put your hands over there, you want to feel your pulse. It may be hard for you guys, but we're going to try and figure out how to check our pulse. And once you feel it, count to 60 and see how many times you feel your pulse. For those in our class, just come and just continue on with it. Now, after you did your pulse rate, heart rate in particular, ask yourself this question. What is your heart rate within 60 seconds? What is the heart rate of the class? And again, you have to be here for that. So if you're not, you don't worry about that. All right. How would you answer these questions? Can the answer be the same for both questions? Just think about it. And again, whatever your answer can be, it could be in various forms. So before I end the video, just know this is what you have to do. And again, don't miss days. If you miss days, please, please, please keep up with Google Classroom. Please watch videos. Please do all of that. All right, I'm out.